Hey guys, it's Nick with the RVing Tradesman. We're back on the tailgate of the Ram to do another tailgate talk today. You probably noticed that there was no cold opening today. That's really just because I've got a lot of information to get in on this video, and in interest of time I decided we weren't going to have one. So we'll jump right into it. A little bit of house cleaning right at the top here. Thank you guys for all the subscriptions. You guys are growing the group, you're growing the fan base out there, so we thank you guys for all that. I apologize that we haven't had many videos out lately. It's just that time of the year for me at work. We're actually a little short-handed trying to hire on somebody, so hopefully that'll get a little bit better and I'll have a little more free time to devote some more time to working on this. But what we're doing today is we're going to be doing a video on just some general road etiquette, some tips for the road. A lot of this has probably been stuff that you guys were taught in driver's ed and places like that, and some people, you know, might have forgot some of it, need a little bit of refresher. It's always good to go back and learn some of the things you learned in the past and brush up on skills. So gonna try and keep this to just mainly general rules of the road. Some of it will apply a little bit to trailers, but I'm going to keep it pretty broad. We're going to do the broad strokes if we can. First and foremost is you want to set yourself up for success, and the best way you can do that is to know your vehicle. Now, I know I've harped on this in previous videos, but you know, there's a lot of information in that manual that comes with every vehicle. So, you know, read the manual, familiarize yourself with the actual controls on the vehicle, where the wipers are, where the headlights are, where certain buttons on the radio are. That way you're focused on the road. You know, you want to be able to, if you have to turn the headlights on while you're driving, just be able to reach down and turn the headlights on. If you don't, like the radio station that you're listening to, you don't want to have look over and look at the radio to see where your next preset button is. One thing I will say about the Ram that I kind of don't like with the touchscreen radio is it's a touchscreen. My last vehicle, excuse me, my last vehicle on my Jeep, I didn't have a touchscreen. So I just had the buttons, and I could actually put my hand over on the dash and hit each preset, and if I never even had to look away from the road, because I could just hit one and just by touch know which preset I was on. So the touchscreen's nice, it looks nice, it's a very clean look, but you know, everything has a negative side to it. That's kind of one that I found with that. I can't really put my hand up there and just do that because there's nothing to really tell me which button I'm touching. So just something I've noticed. But same thing goes for any of you guys that have got trailers. You know your trailer, know how to hook it up. Anytime I stop to get gas or, you know, take a break or anything like that, I'm checking the trailer, make sure that the lights didn't come unplugged, make sure chain's not dragging, make sure, you know, just generally look it over. I check all the doors, you know, even though I lock them every time, I'm a little psychotic, so I check the doors every time, make sure that they're all locked, make sure that they're all closed, stuff like that. Little things like that really make the difference in whether or not you have a problem on the road or you don't have a problem. One thing I do, I don't check the tire pressure every time I get out, but I will walk around and put my hands on the tires, make sure that I don't have one that's, you know, unusually hot. That could be an indication that one of them's low, or that I have a problem with the weight. Maybe something shifted inside the trailer and it's putting more weight on one axle than it should be. So little stuff like that. You know, real easy. It'll take you longer to fill your truck up with gas than it will to walk around and check your chains and check your tires and stuff like that. So no reason not to do it. Next thing, focus on the road itself. I know with all the things that we have in vehicles, it can be really easy to get distracted. You know, cell phones, don't be playing around. You know, as much as I love you guys watching my YouTube videos, I don't want you watching them while you're driving down the road. Save that for when you get to the campsite or when you're back at home. You know, I've said it in the past on other videos too, I'm not really a fan of a lot of these new features that cars have, like blind spot monitoring, and automatic braking and stuff like that, because me personally, I feel like it's kind of a dumbing down of society in a way. You know, the more things that we have on the vehicle that are doing stuff for us, you know, I know it's in an effort to make things safer, and it's a good intention, but you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So you know, just things like blind spot monitoring, automatic headlights, automatic wiper blades, stuff like that, it just adds to this level of not needing to focus on the road quite as much because the vehicle is doing more stuff for you. I would rather have to turn my own headlights on and have to check my own blind spot and stuff like that, because it, to me, feels like I'm more engaged in the drive itself, which is where I need to be focused. You know, obviously don't text and drive. You know, I mean, I see a lot of people in my area doing that, and I think it's one of the dumbest things in the world. You know, there's no text message out there that's, you know, worth you hurting yourself or someone else. I mean, it's just plain and simple. But, you know, now I'm not going to beat a dead horse too much, but blinkers. Guys, use your blinkers when you're turning, changing lanes, stuff like that. There's so many people that just don't use blinkers, and I used to think it was a thing in my area, but the more and more time I spend online, the more and more I see people in every area complaining about it. You know, as long as I've been driving, blinkers have been, you know, pretty much standard equipment on every vehicle, so it should be standard equipment on, you know, yours as well. And, you know, that's one that I'm guilty of. You know, I'm not going to stand up here and tell everybody that I'm, you know, the world's perfect driver or anything like that. I change lanes without using a blinker sometimes. I have a tendency, you know, if I'm pulling out of my neighborhood, that I don't turn my blinker on and stuff like that. And it's something I'm trying to change, because it's something really simple to communicate to other drivers what you're doing. So, moving on from there, one thing that really irks the ever-living crap out of me is people riding in the left lane. You know, the left lane, if you're on the interstate, is for passing. Plain and simple. I know there are certain states, I know South Carolina is one that doesn't have a dedicated passing lane. I think that's kind of stupid, but it's generally assumed in South Carolina that the left lane is still for passing. You know, you're not supposed to ride in the left lane. If you're, you know, doing 5 miles over the speed limit and you're in the left lane, you don't need to be in the left lane. I actually left this afternoon, or this morning rather, and was coming back this afternoon and got stuck behind somebody on a local interstate that was doing 75 in the left lane. The speed limit is 70. Now, you know, of course, it's only 2 lanes in this particular stretch, and there's somebody in the right lane that's also doing 75 miles an hour that I want to get around. And I'm a fan of the flash to pass idea or method, you know, technique, whatever you want to slap a label on it with. But I think there's a lot of people that take that as an insult. And, you know, I flash my high beams at the car in front of me, and now he apparently thinks that I'm trying to insult his driving, or it's a slight against him or anything like that, when really all I'm saying is, hey man, I would like to go faster than you're going. Please move over. I don't care what you do once I get past you. You can get back in the left lane and drive 60 miles an hour for the next 50 miles for all I care. But the flash to pass thing, that is not meant as an insult. You know, people have done it to me before, and typically when they do that, it's because I'm getting a little tired maybe. I'm in the left lane, I'm not, you know, passing anybody really, I'm not really paying attention because I'm a little bit tired from a long day. It kind of wakes me up. I say, oh, I'm doing 65 in the left lane on a highway that's, you know, got a posted speed limit of 70. I need to get in the right lane, and I need to wake up and pay attention a little bit. I don't take it personally as an insult or a slight. So that's just one thing, you know, if somebody's doing the flash to pass thing on you, don't get all bent out of shape. Don't be that guy that starts to slow down and play games on the side of the road and stuff like that. You know, for one, it's just stupid, and all you're doing is making it take longer for everybody to get wherever they're going. And the other thing is, there's a lot of crazy people out there nowadays, and, you know, it's not something that we're going to really debate or anything like that, but you don't want to end up on the side of the road getting into a fist fight or something like that, or the guy trying to follow you to your house or your destination. It's just not worth it. Just let it go. You know, even if the guy is being a jerk off, let him get past you, go down the road at 90 miles an hour. There's probably a state trooper down there waiting just for him. Which brings me to the next thing. We were out and about yesterday, and something was going on. We were on a 2-lane road, and there was, I think, 3 fire trucks, a support fire truck, and an ambulance that passed us all on the side of the road. And, you know, you should always yield for emergency vehicles. And I got, you know, some guy behind me that's riding my bumper, because we happen to be on the road that the fire station was on. And, you know, this guy's riding my bumper, and I can see him in my mirror. He's throwing his hands up, and he's blowing the horn every time I pull over. Well, you know what? First of all, it's the law in, I'm pretty sure, just about all 50 states that you have to yield for an emergency vehicle. Okay? So, number one, as a law-abiding citizen, I'm going to yield for an emergency vehicle. Number two, I guarantee you if it was that guy's grandmother, daughter, wife, his house on fire, you know, I guarantee you he would be hoping that everybody would be pulling over on the side of the road so that they could get to his emergency faster. That is just utter and complete bullcrap to not yield for an emergency vehicle. And if you don't like that and what I have to say about this, unsubscribe from my channel. You know what? There's 640 subscribers. I checked before I came out here. If I lost half of them because they don't believe in yielding for an emergency vehicle, I'm okay with it. And sort of branching off from that topic a little bit too, move over for stopped vehicles. Okay? There's no excuse for it. Move over and slow down. It's the law in pretty much every state now. There's no reason that you shouldn't move over and slow down for a stopped vehicle on the side of the road. Whether that's a fire truck, an ambulance, a police car, a tow truck, I'll move over and slow down for a guy on the side of the highway changing his tire. Because, God's honest truth, this really pisses me off. It does. To see people not moving over for any stopped vehicle. But especially an emergency vehicle. Because most people have never gotten out on the side of a highway with cars running by them at 80 miles an hour and tried to do anything. Okay? And police, fire, and EMTs will do that in a heartbeat without a second thought, not because it's their job, but because they put their lives on the line every day to protect us. A lot of you guys probably notice I'm wearing a Thin Blue Line hat. I've got a Thin Blue Line sticker on the back of my truck. You know, I have friends that are in law enforcement. I know we do have some people in the group that are firefighters and EMTs as well. Guys, these people put their lives on the line every single day to stand between us and danger. The least we can do is move over, slow down, and take another 30 seconds to get to our destination. Don't be that guy. I mean, seriously, do not be that guy. But, you know, other than that, you gotta learn to let stuff go. You can't really dwell on things that you can't change. And you can't change the fact that somebody else on the road is going to be a jerk. It's just the way that it is. And if you go into a long trip or any trip with that mindset, I think it's going to go a lot easier for you. You'll be able to let a lot of these little annoyances and stuff like that go. I spend a lot of time on the road with my job, so I do see a lot of different things on the road, but you know, you can't change somebody else's driving. But I also believe that sometimes you have to be the change that you want to see, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this channel, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do with this video here. There's a lot of rules of the road that seem to get forgotten. And if I can remind some people of some of these rules on the road, I think if people start to take it to heart, we'll have a lot less traffic and our lives would be a lot easier. So, you know, be the change that you want to see in the world. You know, if you agree with what I'm telling you guys here, then, you know, put some of these things into practice. Share these videos with your family. Don't, you know, I mean, I'm not saying, you know, most of the time when I say share the video, it's just to get more views on the video and more exposure. And, you know, exposure and all that is good. But this time when I'm saying it, it's a little different. Share it if you agree with what I'm saying and you would like to see things on the road be easier. But we're going to get off of that because this isn't really meant to be that deep of a YouTube channel. And if you follow the channel closely, most of you know that we did a giveaway video. It's been about 4 weeks now, I think. I think it's 4 weeks. Anyway, this past week we chose the winner, and the winner was the HVAC Uncensored. It was on the giveaway for the Weber grill accessories. So I know he is in the Facebook group. If he's a guy by the name of Gil. I've chatted with him in the group before. Gil, if you just want to hit me up on Messenger with your address, I'll get everything shipped out to you right away. And as always, guys, stay safe out there, and we'll see you on the next video.